Yeah. It's taking a little while for your chest to settle, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm mostly fine now, except for when I laugh or talk or sometimes breathe. It's all good.
Okay. If you can avoid doing all those things, that would be great. Oh dear, you poor thing. Right. So we've just been having a brief chat about how you were looking for your phone 10 minutes, then you realised it was underneath your buttocks.
Yes, I had hidden my phone in my butt. So yeah.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
It's I was like, I know I brought it with me. I was like, right, okay. I know I brought it with me because I want to buy some tickets to the theatre and I needed to like approve it on my app. And I know I brought it with me out the house because I just went to take a photograph of the wren nest that is in our garage. And so I was like, either I've lost it between here and the garage, or I imagined the whole garage thing. Yeah, I did not. I imagined none of it.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's yeah, do you think you had brain overload this morning, or is this like a normal thing?
No, this is just a normal. Well, do you know what it is? It's because I don't normally have my phone in my cabin with me. Like it does. I don't even look at it. I look at it when I have my breakfast, and then I don't even look at it until lunchtime.
Okay.
Because I want to buy some tickets, and my stupid, anti-fraud stupid phone bank thing is just like, oh, you need to approve it in your app, and I can't run from here to there in time to approve it before it times out. So I needed. That was a really boring explanation. Sorry.
But it's just another example about how your brain can play tricks on you. Do you want to hear something which did I tell you about when I got stuck in my own shoes?
No, but you need to.
This is an example. I actually got worried about myself because I thought, oh no, am I actually got dementia here? I was on my Peloton bike the other day, and it's got little cleats that you kind of put your feet into, and you pedal around. And I'd got myself set up on my bike, and it's connected to the internet usually, but I realized when I started pedaling there was no internet connection. I was like, shit, I need to sort out the internet connection. So immediately my brain was thinking, what's up, what's wrong, what do I need to do? And I got off the bike, and suddenly I could not remember how to get out of my shoes. They've got little ratchets that you ratchet them tight, and I was like getting in a real panic because I couldn't remember how to release the ratchet. And I had to go on YouTube. Luckily, somebody had made a video on how to get out of Peloton shoes.
But you know what? That in itself is reassuring because you're clearly not the only one who's got stuck in your shoes.
Yeah, but it was like my brain was so busy thinking about the internet that suddenly I was like, I can't think of anything else. I can't even work out how to free myself. And I said to Kev later that day, I was actually quite concerned. I thought I was going mad or something. But he just laughed. He wasn't very
not very
sympathetic. Yeah, but that was an example of just brain overload where I started to overthink and got in my own way completely.
Do you know what though? I think that is a thing. And also, I'm also going to say, I'm going to do the glitch. I'm going to talk about glitches in a second. Before I forget, like you say, oh, I thought I had dementia. You know what? For years, I genuinely panicked that I was, and like for years, like for basically my entire adult life, I was like, have I got like early onset dementia?
Yeah.
And so that's another reason why I think diagnosis is so important, because I saw some dickhead on LinkedIn this morning going, oh, just a label. Why do you want labels? You're just trying to put people in boxes. And I'm just like, well, A, fuck off, and B, but like B, that was like, I know that like now I don't have dementia, and that's much less scary because dementia is fucking horrible and terrifying, and like it's just awful. And so I was just like lol, have I got early onset dementia? But inside I was just like, but have I?
Yeah.
And it's very reassuring to know that no, I do not.
Thanks. Yeah, and if you sort of marry it up with things like menopause, it can feel very much like you're losing your fucking brain at times, can't it?
Yes. I don't know. I've always felt like I'm losing my tiny little mind. So, it's cool. But yeah, the glitch thing, it was like the overload thing with the shoes. As you were saying that, I was remembering what I often do if I have something in each hand. And Joe will watch me do this, and it makes him laugh loads. But like, I'll be like, and it's like a computer game glitch, and I'm like, I'm trying to put something, and he's like, why don't you put that down? And I'm like, I literally can't, and I'm just kind of spinning, and I'm like, my entire brain has glitched, and I'm like, I've got this thing, and I've got this thing, but I need to do that thing, and it's just like, no, cannot compute, and I get like the blue screen of death, and I just kind of shut down in a corner.
I know, it's just, you just get yourself these ridiculous situations, and you've just reminded me of how I got stuck at a car park barrier yesterday. I was coming out of a hotel, and I went to put the number into this barrier that goes up, and I kind of I didn't park close enough, and I had to open my door.
I hate that.
Oh, I know. And when I was coming, when one of the girls who I'd just spent the day with, she went, "Oh, nice car." I was like, "Oh, thank you." That completely put me off my. And what I hadn't realised, I'd accidentally put the handbrake on my car when I was sort of like spinning round, and I tried to like pull out away. The barrier went up, and I was trying to pull away, and I was like, I said to her, "Is this something in front of my car?" I thought I was like trying to roll over a dead body or something.
Oh my God.
And then I was like, I finally realised that the handbrake button was beeping at me, which didn't compute. I was so busy sort of like thinking about her. And then I drove off, and I finally got through the barrier. I realised my driver's door was still open. I was like, I'm not safe when I'm like that.
Absolute clusterfuck. I love it.
She must have thought, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I know, but it's a double whammy of like being interrupted while you're doing something.
Yeah.
Somebody's saying something nice to you, which I'm not very good at dealing with, and just throwing me off, and then just being like, and also probably for me, being enraged with the patriarchy, which is the reason that we can't reach the fucking things, because they're designed for taller men.
Right. Okay.
I don't have any empirical evidence for that, but based on literally the rest of the world, I'm assuming that that's what the problem is. So.
Right. Yeah, could well be. They're certainly not designed for women in very low cars.
Or maybe I've just got really stumpy arms.
I know, if they're designed for like Mr. Tickle or something, aren't they? They've got these massive long arms. Why do you do this? They should at least make them like extendable robotic things that come out and come to your face.
That would be terrifying, because it would come to your window and just be like.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just funny, isn't it? How we've. I mean, I've had lots of moments like that in the past. I love this where you say, you get stuck in a glitch with two things in your hand. I do that.
Yeah.
I definitely do that. I'm like, what? I don't know how to compute this. What do I put down first? What does putting down even mean?
Yeah.
Who am I?
And then I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm also like, but if I put that down, it's going to cease to exist, and whatever I was going to do with it, it's not going to happen.
But it's nice to be able to laugh about it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, sometimes it's upsetting, but mostly it's funny, because like just I imagine what it must look like, and Joe finds it hilarious. So I imagine it must be really funny to just watch somebody going like, what?
Yeah. You ever seen those early robot thing where people have invented robots like years ago, and you just see them like just pushing into walls and just doing repetitive things over and over again and just looking ridiculous. Sometimes you just feel like that, don't you? Just like, what am I doing?
Yeah, like, and I I navigate my space by bouncing off things as well, because my spatial awareness is so poor. My proprioception is so poor.
Right.
And I will just like, I go through so many pockets and belt hooks and things because they just get caught on door handles. But I just bounce off things, and I'm constantly covered in bruises, partly from the trapeze, but also partly just from walking into stuff all the time.
Yeah. I can relate to that. Generally, I get hip bruises from walking into table corners.
Oh my God, that's so rage-inducing. It hurts so much. It's always like right on the pointy bit.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Or bashing the pointy bit of my elbow is another thing.
Right.
Oh, and yesterday. So I got into a cleaning frenzy, like before I even had breakfast. I was just like, there's too many cobwebs. So I literally moved everything out of the bedroom, and I hoovered behind everything. And then I was trying to hoover the stairs, and it was a whole I was like, and then I pulled the hoover down the stairs on top of me, and it landed on my hand. And you probably can't see.
Oh my God.
And it took a layer of skin off, and there was like an almighty crash and some screaming, and Joe came running up the stairs. He's like, oh my God, what's happened? And I'm just like, he thought I'd fallen down the stairs, which I nearly did before that as well. And like trying to stretch up to get the cobwebs right in the ceiling. And yeah, it was just a catalogue of like another clusterfuck, really. But yeah, Henry, we have 2 Henrys, right? I love Henry Hoovers.
I love Henrys.
Our red Henry is helpful Henry, and our blue Henry is malevolent evil Henry, and he's the one who flung himself at me from the top of the stairs.
So he actually has an agenda, Blue Henry.
Yeah, I don't like him, because the other thing is, like, Red Henry is got like a wheelie thing to wheel the cable back in.
Right.
Blue Henry, he just expects you to like tie it around the outside, and then it just gets in the way and unravels, and his whole agenda is to cause mayhem and chaos, I think. So
here's a really, what probably sounds like an obvious question, is why doesn't Blue Henry stay in the cupboard and Red Henry helps you all the time?
Because Red Henry now smells of cat piss.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I won't ask you. You've been hoovering up cat litter.
Yeah, and we can't get rid of the cat piss smell, and so when it kind of it blows as well as sucks, and it just blows out cat piss smell. So Red Henry is now only used for. I just saw your face then, and I started listening to myself, and I was like, "No, stop. Let's talk about what were we going to talk about?" Hang on, I think I wrote it down. Micro-biomes.
Oh, micro-biomes. Yes. Good. We were going to talk about getting the right nutrition to cultivate and nourish your microbiome, weren't we?
Yes. And
have you been doing that too? Have you been getting on it? And
no, I've been learning about it, but I haven't been doing anything about it.
Okay. So, well, that's standard stuff, really.
Yeah.
We're all guilty of that at some point. Yeah. So I must have spoken to you shortly after I was doing my first week on trying to eat 50 vegetables and things, and that went surprisingly easily, because you can count things like herbs and even tea, different types of tea or coffee. It all counts as a different substance that you put in your body. Even beer,
I suppose. Yeah, beer is from like and yeast and barley and stuff, isn't it? So that's plants.
Yeah. You just have to be careful not to overdo the beer and the dark chocolate and that kind of thing. Yeah. So I feel as if I did the first week really, really well, and I easily did my 50 sort of different veg and fruit. Last week was not quite so easy. I was spending time in hotels, and so I spent 4 days out of the last week in a hotel environment, and it didn't feel quite so easy to actually nourish myself really, really well, which is a shame, really, isn't it?
It is, but they're not like, I haven't been to like a conference / event thing for ages, but they are just set up to make you eat trash, really, unless you specifically design it not to. And because it's just easier to feed people biscuits and stuff, I guess, isn't it? So
yeah. And even, I mean, you're vegetarian too, aren't you? When you go to a menu, there's not always masses of choice, is there?
No, like a big carb fest, which I love, but it's, yeah, but it's not ideal.
Yeah. So I'm still kind of going on it. I can't say I've noticed massive effects so far, but it's still early days. It's only 2 weeks in.
Yeah, it takes a while for these things to change. So I was watching, I went and watched that documentary about gut health, and it was really, really interesting. I got a bit distracted halfway through and missed the middle bit, but it was really interesting. And they were saying that, now what were they saying? I should have made notes and I didn't. I'm gonna have to watch it again and make notes. But they were saying that obviously there is no one right way to eat. Like, everybody is different and everybody's bodies are different. And they had several different people on. And one of them was a younger woman who has always had disordered eating. So she was very anorexic and that kind of thing. One of them had really severe, I don't know if it was food allergies or intolerances, and some of it she said was like in her head, but some of it was like real, would cause her real pain. And they were 2 white women, and then there was a Japanese guy who was a competitive eater of hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
Which was just like crazy. And then there was a black lady who had always struggled to keep her weight down. Like, no matter what she did. And it was just really interesting listening to the experts talking to them and saying, well, you're all gonna have very different gut biomes, and what a diet that might work. And the reason that the woman who struggled to lose weight was struggling to lose weight is because she wasn't putting the right food into her body, basically. So it wasn't like diets and things would never work. She was also a badass, by the way. She had a motorbike and she was doing burnouts in the most amazing high heels and stuff. She was awesome. But it was just really interesting listening to them talking about how you can replenish your gut biome and all of the differences it makes, and how it can take months and months and months for you to notice a difference. So that was a really long way of saying it might take a long time.
Yeah, it was really, really fascinating documentary, wasn't it? Really, really quite. What can you remind me what it's called? It's something to do with gut, isn't it? Is it?
It was called. Hang on, I did write this. I did write the title down. It was called. Hack Your Health: The Secrets of Your Gut.
Right, that's
and
it.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's blooming brilliant, isn't it? It's the only one I found a little bit difficult to watch was the poo smoothie.
The poo smoothie. I think that maybe I got distracted when that happened, and I don't remember that. I feel like I would have remembered that.
Did you not see the girl blending up her boyfriend's poo and putting it into little capsules?
No. I must have been playing Lemmings during that moment.
You need to watch it again.
I do need to watch it again because I need to make notes.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating actually, the fecal transplant stuff. Okay. Where it talks about how you can introduce somebody else's bacteria into your gut, and it will have an effect on you. And I'll let you watch it again, because she tells an interesting story about how she has reacted to different people's poop.
It's just so gross. I know it's kind of not gross, but also it is gross.
Yeah. Yeah, they're literally blending up poop and putting it in little capsules for her to eat.
I thought they'd shove it up your bum. Do you have to eat it?
Oh, maybe she shoved it up her bum. She might have shoved it up her bum.
Because I don't think I could eat a poo capsule.
Oh, maybe she put it up her bottom.
Okay, we're gonna have to rewatch that.
Yeah, they didn't make that clear. Maybe I lost concentration. Maybe I was just going like that and didn't really listen properly. Yeah, they could have been suppositories, I suppose. They were quite big.
Were they?
Well, they were kind of, they were. I don't know how big things are that you put up your bottom.
I don't know. I've never done a suppository. I don't know how big they are.
I've never done one either. Maybe if anybody has, they can write in.
Yeah, tell us about your poo transplants and and
but
what difference it makes.
Yeah, but you might find that interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting to hear from people who have, because I have done obviously a lot of reading since I got my diagnosis. So there was also a guy on there whose made it his kind of study, because his whole family is ADHD and autistic, aren't they? So he was just like, this is really interesting. I want to see how I can improve things, you know, for them. And so I've done a lot of reading, and it's like things like seeds are really good, and omega-3 that I don't get from fish because I don't eat fish, but like, where can you get it from? And it's from things like chia seeds and flax seeds. And I went through a bit of a phase of throwing loads of pumpkin seeds and stuff onto my breakfast fruits and things like that, and then I got out of the habit of doing that. But yeah, things like that. And I can't say that I noticed a massive difference, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. They did say it'll take a while, doesn't it, for this forest in your gut.
Yeah, I think part of my problem is that I find it really difficult to remember to do stuff like that. Like, I'd forgotten that I did that until we were just talking about it now, and so I did it summer again, and it's fruit time. So maybe I'll get back into the habit of having, because I went through a phase of having fresh fruit with oat yogurt and then loads of stuff sprinkled on it, and it was really nice. So maybe I will start that again for breakfast.
Yeah, that sounds a good idea. And definitely, you know, although it doesn't feel like it at the moment, back into salad season, aren't we, over the summer? And that makes it really easy to get lots of variety in one meal, doesn't it?
It does. We did have a salad last night, and we have growing in our greenhouse currently radishes, lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes, and melons.
Ooh.
It's a bit of an experiment, because I don't know if they'll grow, but the plants are growing very nicely, but I don't know if they'll actually like grow a melon. So.
Yeah, what sort of melons?
Can't remember. I think cantaloupe, but I can't remember.
Oh, I bet they'll taste delicious as well.
Oops.
Yeah, because I actually went on and got an audiobook from, I think it's Tim Spector, who was on that documentary, who I think he started the Zoe project or something, if you've ever heard of Zoe. I've never actually used it.
My friend does the Zoe thing with the arm thing. Yeah, and
there's this book, hang on, let me find it, because it's actually quite a good listen. It's called Food for Life, and it sort of goes into what each sort of food stuff does for you in a little bit more detail. And he was talking about how food, the way it's stored and the way it travels, can really affect its flavour.
Yes. So winter strawberries always taste like crap, or they taste like nothing, because they've been travelling such a long way.
Yeah.
And when I've been in countries that grow mangoes, like they taste nothing like the mangoes we get here. They taste like they're incredible when you have them. I was gonna say live, when you have them live in Mangoland, instead of here. But yeah, it's really interesting. I need to do some more research on this. And also, I was thinking, actually, just then, that I was saying that I haven't noticed any difference from my diet changes, but actually that's not true, because if I have like a big pasta for my lunch, I will really struggle in the afternoon, because I'll be like really sluggish. If I eat too many carbs, I love bread, I love pasta, and if I have like a really carby day, then I will be really sluggish, like in body and mind. And so I actually, you know, it's obvious, and it's really like obvious when you think about it, that what you put in is what you're going to get out. So
yeah, do you know what, that is so true. And if I eat too much carb for lunch, or you know, especially if I do breakfast and lunch that's carb heavy, pain au chocolat plus a sandwich is just like a recipe for sluggishness and going to sleep in the afternoon.
Yeah, and too much sugar as well makes me feel like crap. I love it at the time, because like I am a little bit of a sugar addict, I think, like most people are. But yeah, it just makes me feel terrible later. Yeah,
and there's lots of blogging and literature about the link between sugar and ADHD, and how we can be very sensitive to sugar lows and things, and sugar highs, and so thinking about what we eat and making sure we get plenty of slow release energy, and you know, a good balance of foods. And I guess it can be a problem, because especially if it's linked with things like autism, you might find that you're quite narrow in your food choices, because you get favorites, don't you, and tend to repeat them over and over. And
I will eat the same thing for, like, it makes Joe laugh, I'll eat the same lunch for like 6 months, and then I'll suddenly take against it, and he'll be like, have you taken against eggs again? And I'll be like, yes. And so, but it'll like be the same And I know that our friend John does that. He has the same thing. He's had the same thing for lunch for years. And I'm like, and I think that's like the really interesting intersection between ADHD and autism. It's like I will eat the same thing for 6 months, and then I'll be like, don't bring that anywhere near me ever again. And it'll be like a sudden but I can eat the same thing for months and months. But yeah, and when I'm feeling super overwhelmed, I will make myself for lunch pasta with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and that's it. And it's like, because it's like the blandest thing in the world, but it's like I don't want any extra stimulation, so that will. Or I'll have like a raw mushroom sandwich, which tastes of almost nothing, but I love it, and it's just like. And then other times I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna have like the spiciest thing I can make.
Yeah, so it's like your body responds in different ways. Asks for different. I wonder if that's your gut making requests as well.
Maybe, because I often think, am I craving something salty? Because I love salty food. I think everybody loves salty food, right? But it's like, am I craving something salty because because my body is deficient in salt, or just because my brain wants something like a dopamine hit? It's really hard to know.
Yeah, we're such complex systems, aren't we? It's like what's shouting loudest? Is it our brain? Is it our body? It's hard to tell sometimes, isn't it?
Do you know what I think I'm going to do? And I can make this like a little project that I'm going to work on. This is going to drive Joe up the wall. Because meal planning can be really difficult, because it's just a pain in the ass, and I don't really cook, so anything that I plan, poor Joe's going to have to sort out. But I was thinking I might try and put together like an ADHD friendly meal plan, and it'll probably only be friendly for me because everybody's different. But like if anybody else found it useful, then I could kind of put it out there, and it could be like my little ADHD meal plan, and it would be like really easy to do, like quick and easy to do, and not too cheap, obviously, and it will be vegetarian. Sorry, because I'm vegetarian. But
good. Excellent. I love the sound of that.
I'm gonna write that down.
Awesome project.
ADHD meal planning, and I'm gonna go and do a load of research about this gut health and find out what we need. Yeah,
brilliant. I like. So I'm sure anybody watching this is going to be like, ooh, need to watch this space. We will let people know if and when. I'm sure it's more a case of when, because like you're a book writer. So
yeah, but also I'm very easily distracted, and all of my projects go by the wayside. So let's say if and when.
Excellent. Okay, Vic, so are you okay for next week? Shall we? Yes. And it's been fun as ever to speak to you.
It has. Thank you so much.
And we'll catch up next time.
Yes, have a fab week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.